A regular kept spoiling a show I was watching. I used to work at this little comic book shop downtown. We had maybe 15 regular customers who'd come in every Wednesday like clockwork to pick up their weekly comics. Most of them were pretty cool. We'd chat about what we were reading, debate Marvel versus DC, typical comic nerd stuff. But there was this one guy, let's call him Dave, mid-40s, always wore the same faded Superman t-shirt, and had this weird superiority complex about knowing everything first. One week Dave mentioned he was a huge Stargate fan. I got excited because I just started rewatching the series from episode 1. Oh nice, I'm going through the whole thing again, I told him. Never actually finished the last few seasons, so I'm finally gonna see how it all ends. Dave's eyes lit up like Christmas morning. Oh, so you don't know Daniel Jackson dies in season 5? I nearly dropped the comics I was holding. Dude, no spoilers! He just laughed and said he forgot I hadn't seen it all, but something about his smirk told me he knew exactly what he was doing. The next week, Dave walks in for his usual Wednesday haul. Before I can even say hi, he goes, "So have you gotten to the part where they introduce the replicators yet? Just wait until you see what happens to Earth." Come on, man. I asked you not to spoil it. Oh, right, sorry. I just get excited talking about it. But week after week, it kept happening. And each time, his spoilers got more detailed and more brutal. Week 3. Wait until you meet the Ori. They completely change everything in season 9. Week 4. I won't spoil who dies, but let's just say you're gonna cry during season 8. Week 5. The time travel episode where they reset everything is wild. Every single time I'd beg him to stop, and every single time he'd give me that same fake innocent look and go, "Oops, sorry." This went on for 2 solid months. 8 weeks of this guy systematically ruining one of my favorite shows. I could tell he was getting off on it. The way he'd pause before dropping a spoiler, like he was savoring the moment. I started dreading Wednesdays because I knew Dave would find some new way to ruin the show for me. But Dave made one crucial mistake. See, part of my job was reading basically every new comic that came out. Marvel, DC, Image, Dark Horse, all of it. I had to know what we were selling. So when Dave came in that 8th Wednesday with his usual pile of comics, I was ready. He paid for his books and I could see him getting that familiar gleam in his eye. He opened his mouth to probably tell me how Stargate Atlantis ends or something, but instead of bagging up his comics, I spread them all out on the counter like I was dealing cards. "Oh cool, you got the new Walking Dead issue," I said, pointing to the first comic. "Too bad Rick gets his hand chopped off in this one. And the new Spider-Man? Peter's identity gets revealed on page 12. Dave's face went white. I kept going. "Batman dies in this issue of Justice League, temporarily but still. And oh man, this X-Men comic, Jean Grey comes back to life, then dies again by page 20. Hey wait, the twist in this Invincible issue is that his dad has been evil the whole time. And in Saga, the robot guy's head explodes." Dave was frantically trying to grab his comics off the counter, but I kept moving them around. "Oh, and this Hellboy issue? He finally meets his real father. Spoiler alert, it's Satan." By the time I finished, Dave looked like he wanted to crawl under a rock. All those comics he'd been excited to read, completely ruined. He gathered up his books without saying a word and walked out. The next Wednesday, Dave came in, bought his comics, and left without even making eye contact. He never mentioned Stargate again. In fact, he barely talked to me at all after that. Turns out Dave didn't like spoilers any more than I did.